dressing time. Let's get to it. All right, this is the best homemade ranch salad dressing that I got off of barefeetinthekitchen.com. Yep, and it's real good, everybody, real good. This lasts about 1 week in the refrigerator, and this makes about 1.5 cups, about 24 servings, 1 tablespoon. It's simple, it's easy. You could tweak it a little bit. So let's get this going. I do have my containers that I'll put up that I get off of Amazon. That is really nice. This is really good. It lasts about 7 days, but it tastes really good like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th day, or the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th day, because everything blends even better. So it calls for 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, and we go with the Miracle Light because that's the way my wife likes it. So let's get that, 1/2 cup. Oops, and I dropped it right on my counter. Can you believe that? So let's get this going. Now my kid, I'm making this up for him because all he does is use 2 condiments, ketchup and ranch. So he said, Dad, can you make some up with that ranch for me? I said, sure. Because he likes to take those frozen burritos and put a little ranch on it, on top, with a little cracked pepper, and then he puts bacon bits. So it's one of those little easy little meals that, you know, them gamers like to do while they're jamming, playing, or doing their Twitch. Let's get that in there. All right, there we go. So this one is done. Mayonnaise. So since I dropped that on my counter, scoop that out, put that in it. Now remember, with this type of recipe, it could be tweaked to the way you would like your ranch. Now it's calling for 1/2 cup, another 1/2 cup of sour cream. I'm just going to wipe this spoon off. There we go. Grab my 1/2 cup. Let's get this thing scooped in there. Yeah, I would say darn close to 1/2 cup right there. Let's get that in there now. There we go. Oh yeah. Go that route. Yep. That is, everybody, that is definitely sour cream. Yep, yum. We'll put that off to the side. Let's clean that spoon up. I'd rather just clean the spoon up, run it under some fresh water, because it's less stuff to clean up then. All right, then it calls for 1/2 cup of buttermilk or regular milk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1/2 and 1/2 because the buttermilk is really thick. So what I like to do is I like to get it 1/2 and 1/2. So we're going to go right there. There's that 1/2 cup. And then 1% we're going to be using. And this is how I like to do it. They're calling for the 1/2 cup. Now, if this is a little bit too thick for y'all, just add a little bit more milk to it. Just like that. I just added a tad more milk to it. So, milk is done. Milk is done. Now we're going to come into the seasoning, okay? So it calls for a 3/4 to 1 teaspoon of dried dill wheat. Well, we all know how I like my freeze-dried dill, so I'm going to use that. And 1 teaspoon. Spread that on there, because I like the dill. Dill is done. Then it calls for dried parsley, 1/2. So I got my half, my parsley. Oh, and this is so good. You get this in the refrigerator. It starts. This is a great too if you want to do anything with a relish tray or vegetables, a party, you know. Really good, everybody. Then it calls for chives, a half. And I have the freeze-dried chives here. I didn't get to them out of the garden that good, so, and I'm going to put a little bit more in there, yeah, because I want more chives in this. Now you see these freeze-dried herbs will start taking some of the milk and the moisture and expanding and releasing its flavors, and it's going to be so good. Now it calls for onion powder. I have it for my big, what I use for my SBGO. So that's another half. So we're going to grab that. We're going to put that in there. And it calls for powder, but I like the granules. So I'm using the onion granules. That's done. Then it calls for garlic powder, a half. So I'm using the granules again. There we go. And then it calls for 1/4 of sea salt. Okay. Boom. So there's an 1/8, and there's an 1/8. So that's 1/4 because I don't have a 1/4. Yeah, I had a 1/4 right here. See, a little slow in the head. So you put a little salt in there, and I go with the fine sea salt. And then it calls for finely cracked pepper, an 1/8. Now, you can use your crack, or I just, pepper. I'm just going to use regular pepper. Put that in there. Now, they do say to whisk this up before all of this, but I like to do it this way. So now I'm going to whisk this all up. And launch it everywhere. Okay, and it's really thick, if you notice that, everybody. So if you think it's too thick, like this would just be so perfect for your, relish tray and anything like that. I'm just going to splash a little bit more milk into it to make it a little less thick, a little bit easier to be runny. Okay, there we go. And now, what it says is to add the lemon. Okay, now this is freshly squeezed lemon juice to taste, but 1 to 3 teaspoons. Adjust to your taste. I'm just going to use the concentrate made from real lemon juice. And what I do with this is I usually just put in 1 teaspoon. There we go. And it says to whisk it again. Okay, let's give this. Just look how beautiful that looks with all the seasoning and everything else. All right. Now, taste test it. Oh, wow. That lemon. just, wow, that is really good. If you want to too, you could use regular vinegar with this. Or I think the lemon gives it like this, almost like a cucumber flavor to it. Don't ask me why. But these are so nice. The longer it stays in the refrigerator, the better it's going to start. You just give it a shake with these. Okay, get in there. Just going to pour that right in there, everybody. This looks so good. The herbs, it's going to start expanding, releasing all of its flavor. Oh, just look at that. That's perfect. That is really good, everybody. Get this put on. There you go. There's your homemade ranch. Then you just shake it up, pop that open, pour that. Good for 7 days. That is your homemade ranch, everybody. And that made a total of 2 cups right here. I add a little bit more of the milk in there to make it a little bit more runny. But wow. Already, everybody. Wow. Just a simple, delicious. Get this in the refrigerator. If you're going to serve it right away, at least leave it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours to start releasing it. But like I said, day 2 through day 5, incredible. Very good. I want to grab some celery right now, everybody. So do all that great stuff. Please subscribe. Love to have you on this journey of cooking with me. And, you know, hit that like, share. Hit the little bell, notify, so when a new recipe comes up, you could see what's going on. And I really do appreciate everything. All the comments, love the comments, keep them coming. Let me know how it works out for you. And thanks for coming into my kitchen and cooking with me. That's me, John, Cooking with John. And until the next recipe, something as simple as this, we'll see you then. Y'all have a good one. Bye.